Alright guys, so good morning. We're here at Calaveras Lake. So gonna be doing some fishing here in a bit for some catfish. I know a couple of guys have been asking or sending some questions about how to make a drift rig for when you're drift fishing for catfish. Especially you can fish for them in the summertime or especially in the winter. So I needed to make a rig real quick, so I figure I'll just make a video of how I make my drift rig. This is called a Santee rig, but it's got a little variation to it. You can use this rig that I kind of talk about, or you can kind of just look it up on on Google. They have images and pictures, and I'm sure there's other videos out there that show you how to make it, but I'll kind of show you how I make mine here at the lake. So a couple things you're gonna need. You don't need to make this short leader, but I do make this for mine, and I'll kind of tell you why. But I do make myself a short little leader, and all I have is just a barrel swivel. I believe this is a number 7, and I've got a barrel swivel on the front and on the back. When I make this leader, it's not very long. It's maybe about 4 inches, 5 inches. The reason I make this leader to attach to my main line is one of the components that you need for drifting is you need this slide swivel. The problem with the slide swivel, I use primarily braided line on my lines, and I've had some experience where this slide swivel, as it goes back and forth on your braided line, it does tend to fray it, and I've lost a couple of fish. So I don't want to change my lines, my main line, to mono, because I do like braid. So what I ended up doing was I'll just make a short little leader. So like I said, it's just a little barrel swivel, short little leader. You gotta have yourself at least 2 beads, okay? And you want to go and get yourself, this is a slide swivel, like I told you. It just slides back and forth, and on the bottom it's got a little slide bumper. This is going to protect your knot that you have tied on the bottom. Whatever knot you want to use for your swivels, it's your choice. Primarily for this kind of mono, this is going to be about 50-pound test. I use just a simple clinch knot, and it works pretty well. So first step, I make myself a little leader. Like I said, 2 barrel swivels, slide swivel, 2 beads, and a bumper that's going to go on the bottom. So this is the first component of what I make. So I'm going to add some more lines to this, and it's like I said, it's mono. It's going to be a 50-pound braid. So all I'm going to do is just tie myself another real simple clinch knot. Do about 5 turns. Get it back through, and that's it, guys. So I want to tie that up real fast. Now I do measure out the length of the line that I use. It's really your choice, but this is kind of like how I do it, like I'm going to tell you and show you. So to make sure I get the equal measurements in all my rods, usually I'll use my rod as a measuring tool. So on that second eye hole, I'll usually attach the slide swivel there, and I'll measure this down, almost down to the handle of where my rod is at. So hopefully you can see it. So that's going to be my leader. Just end up trimming that off. Now what you're going to need for your leader, you're going to need a peg float, okay? And you're going to need to make yourself one of these. This is called a snagless sinker weight. All this is, again, it's just a number 7 barrel swivel. I tie a clinch knot on the top. I'm going to put myself a bead, and then what I end up attaching is going to be 8 1/4-ounce weights. So this is going to end up being 2 ounces, and what this is going to do is just going to bounce on the bottom. On the very end, I put another bead. And it's not any kind of specific knot that you need to tie for this, but usually what I do is I run the line through the bead, I'll loop it back underneath it and pull it back out again so I can pull it all the way down. And then I just do some overhand knots. I don't really know what the name is, but I'll do about 4 or 5 of those turns to kind of latch this sucker on. You probably want this mono to be a lighter line. Like I said, this is 30 pounds than what your main line is. So it is called a snagless sinker, but it does still get stuck on the ground sometimes. If it gets lodged between some branches or something else on the bottom, you want this line to be lighter so that if this does get stuck, if you're lucky, just this is going to break. and you're not going to lose your entire leader. So you do need a snagless sinker weight. Alright guys, these are real easy to make. But you'll attach this at the end. So on your leader line, this is going to be the variation that I'm going to show you. So I usually end up putting 2 hooks on my Santee Cooper rig. Like I said, if you look it up, it's only going to show you 1 hook. Well, what I do, I'll measure this off, usually about, another 3 eye holes down from the top. And on this one, the knot you're going to tie, all I do is I just loop it on my 2 fingers. I'm just going to do 1 turn over. And that's all that I'm doing, guys. Hopefully you can see that. I just do 1 turn over, and I put the hook back through, and I'm just going to tighten this up. Real easy, real simple. Just tighten that up. I usually pull on both ends separate. Don't pull them at the same time because you're going to pull that knot down. But that's the first part of my hook, and that ends up being probably about a little less than halfway to where my peg float is going to go. So on your peg float, this works pretty good. Just for the time being, I'm just going to put it right through the main line or the leader. I'm just going to reattach it. I usually make sure that the part that pops back in is going to be facing where I'm going to put the hook. So now I put my secondary hook, and all I'm going to do on this one again is just tie another clinch knot, about 5 turns. So I'm tying it. Just tighten it up, guys. That's it. These are real good knots. Now the purpose of this peg float, you actually can move it further back and down for however long or whatever length you want this leader to be. I usually do keep it pretty close because I want this bait to be off of the bottom. So I'll probably get it maybe about another 3-4 inches from the hook. So once you're done, you basically have already made your Santee rig. So like I said, I've got 2 floats on this thing. Once I'm complete on the slide swivel, I'm going to attach my sinker weight. Okay, and basically I'm done. Just reattach this to your main line. And again, like I'm saying, if you're using mono on your main line, you don't need to make this secondary leader. You can just attach this whole portion to your main line with the barrel swivels, the bumper, and still your slider weight or your slider swivel. So now that this is done, what's going to end up happening is as you're drifting, and I have a separate video for that, the wind's going to be pushing your boat. This is going to be bouncing on the bottom, and as you can see with the peg float, as that weight's on the bottom, this peg float's going to be up on top. But what I've done here, like I said, the variation, and a buddy of mine, Sean, showed me this. Just tie another hook. This way you get 2 hooks in the water, so you get 2 presentations for the catfish. Sometimes the catfish are right hugging the bottom, so they'll hit this hook. Sometimes they're a little bit more elevated, probably about another foot. So you have your secondary hook. So you have 2 options for the catfish to hit. This is a pretty easy rig to make, guys. Like you saw them, probably took me, I can make these in probably about a minute, so it doesn't take very long at all. But this is a very good rig to use whenever you're fishing for catfish. Now the hooks that I'm using, these are 6-aught circle hooks, and that's what I've got for both of them. Alright, the reason I usually measure off my leaders when I make them is so that when I'm done at the end, all I need to do, I'll just reattach it. And the reason I use the rod to measure is that this way I know that I can hang without any kind of overlap. So that's it, guys. Pretty easy rig to make. Like I said, this is a Santee rig. It is a variation of the Santee Cooper rig because I'm adding the secondary hook. But it's pretty easy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys had any more questions, go ahead and ask. Now as far as the baits that you guys want to use, I primarily use chicken breast. All I'll do is I'll buy chicken breast and I cut it into little cubes. But you can use cut bait as well. You can get yourself some live bait, either shad, perch, tilapia, Again, cut up into some cubes. I know some guys will use carp if you can get carp, but whatever kind of bait you want to use, it's your preference. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you guys have any questions, by all means, leave a comment and ask, and I'll try to answer as quick as I can. So thanks. Let's see how we do today. Bye.